You wake up in total darkness, feeling nothing but dirt pressing in on you from every side. It's damp, stuffy, and quite frankly, smells pretty awful. Turns out, you've just been born underground in a hole your mom didn't even dig herself because, let's face it, digging your own place seems overrated when you can just steal someone else's. You're blind, hairless, and making tiny squeaky noises that sound anything but intimidating. Right about now, your situation is looking pretty grim. But guess what? It's just the beginning. Your life as a honey badger is about to get a whole lot harder, my friend. From day one, you realize quickly that there's no such thing as softness or cuddling in the world of honey badgers. Mom isn't exactly the gentle type. She's too busy snarling at anything that even thinks about poking its nose near your borrowed burrow. Sure, you might want a little affection, a warm nuzzle or two, but forget it. Affection isn't on Mom's agenda. Her priorities revolve strictly around survival. Yes! If something moves near your home, Mom's immediate instinct is to chase, bite, or claw it until it's clear that messing with her offspring is a very bad idea. At first, you don't really understand the fuss. You're tiny, helpless, and honestly just want to nap and occasionally gnaw on your mom's tail when she's distracted. But even at this innocent stage, life isn't gentle. There's no cozy blankets, no soft lullabies, just dirt, darkness, and an endless cycle of chaos. Welcome to honey badgerhood. Comfort doesn't live here, and from now on your existence will be a never-ending series of small battles, big battles, and everything in between. You're going to learn to love the fight, because there's literally no other choice. Your first real lesson about life hits you with all the subtlety of a speeding truck. Except in your case, it's a hive filled with angry bees instead of headlights. Mom drags you along one sunny morning and without so much as a warning glance starts ripping apart a hive like it's hiding gold bars inside. You're standing there in shock, eyes wide and heart pounding as hundreds of furious bees swarm around her. They sting at her face, paws, and pretty much every body part you can imagine. And here's the kicker. She doesn't even flinch. She acts like these stings are nothing more than minor annoyances, like mosquitoes at a barbecue. But then it's your turn. Mom grunts at you impatiently, basically saying, "Kids, step up, it's snack time." Nervously, you edge closer, swipe timidly at the hive, and in the blink of an eye, you're hit by a stinging missile right in your tender nose. It feels like fire. You yelp, stumble back, and immediately reconsider every decision you've ever made in your short life. Mom? She doesn't bat an eye, just continues feasting as if your little existential crisis is totally normal. And maybe in her tough love way, it is. Soon enough, you reluctantly learn an important lesson that shapes your entire worldview. Pain, unfortunately, is the price you pay for snacks. By the time you're about a year old, life decides it's time to throw you another curveball. Mom vanishes overnight. One moment she's around, grumbling and snarling and generally making life manageable, and the next, you're alone. Completely alone. Independence doesn't ease you in gently. It slams into you like an avalanche. The sudden realization that you're now solely responsible for your survival hits harder than any bee sting you've ever experienced. Your first solo hunt? Honestly, it's humiliating. You see a scorpion and think, this looks easy enough. But the scorpion, unimpressed by your newfound bravado, effortlessly sidesteps your clumsy attack, delivers a sharp sting to your paw, and casually strolls away, leaving you rolling on the ground and questioning every choice you've ever made. Sure, you're immune to venom, but immunity doesn't mean painless. You quickly learn that being invincible on paper still hurts in reality. Things don't immediately improve. The savannah is harsh, unforgiving, and seemingly designed to bruise your ego at every turn. Your next big idea is to chase down a porcupine. Why? Because you're young, reckless, and desperate for a win. Spoiler alert, porcupines aren't pushovers. After a short scuffle, you find yourself limping away, picking sharp quills out of your skin, pride utterly shattered. Yet despite these embarrassing setbacks, you slowly begin to piece together a method to your madness. You learn to be selective about your fights. Scorpions are a yes, even if they sting. Snakes, definitely yes, because venom is just a mild inconvenience. And lizards are fair game as long as you're quick enough. Gradually, your clumsy hunting attempts become slightly less clumsy. You manage to catch a few small mammals, snack on eggs, and occasionally surprise yourself with your own competence. But make no mistake, each meal, each success is paid for in bumps, bruises, and bite marks. At this stage, you realize independence isn't just about hunting, it's about understanding your limits and pushing past them anyway. It's about accepting that pain is normal, setbacks are frequent, and embarrassment is inevitable. In other words, being a honey badger means being resilient because you have no other option. Before long, you're gaining a reputation on the savannah, not because you're the strongest animal around, far from it, but because you have an unmatched willingness to fight. Predators larger than you, lions, leopards, hyenas, they've all learned it's wiser to steer clear of the creature who picks fights simply for the sake of fighting. It's not a glamorous reputation, but it's yours, and you've earned every bit of it with sheer stubbornness and refusal to back down. So, you've survived your clumsy first hunts and the stinging humiliation of early independence. Congratulations, you're officially past rookie status. But hold your applause because now comes the real kicker. Everyone on the savannah either sees you as prey or competition. You're barely knee-high, weigh less than a sack of flour, and yet everything, literally everything, thinks you're worth picking a fight with. Lions look at you as a pesky nuisance invading their hunting grounds. Leopards eye you suspiciously, wondering if you're small enough to snack on, or troublesome enough to avoid. Even jackals, who aren't exactly apex predators themselves, see you as either a threat or an opportunity. Trust me, the savannah is not your friend. Your survival strategy quickly becomes apparent. You're not out here aiming to win every fight. You're smart enough to know that's unrealistic. Instead, you've perfected the art of becoming the most irritating animal alive. While other creatures avoid conflict, your entire identity revolves around confrontation. Size doesn't matter, danger doesn't matter, you live by one simple rule: if something messes with you, make it regret that decision deeply. You bite, scratch, claw, and growl with such relentless determination that even apex predators eventually decide you're not worth the headache. It's not exactly glamorous, but it's brutally effective. However, this constant attitude doesn't exactly make you popular. The result is isolation. You're always alone, always ready for battle, always slightly paranoid because you never know who or what's lurking behind the next bush, waiting for the perfect chance to take you down. Your life becomes one endless series of hostile interactions, which is as exhausting as it sounds. You've turned irritation into an art form, but deep down you're beginning to realize just how draining it is to be everyone's enemy. And if you think life couldn't get tougher, wait until you start looking for territory. Honey badger real estate isn't something you casually stumble upon, it's something you fight tooth and claw to get. Every decent patch of land is already taken by someone who fought equally hard to claim it. Territory disputes between honey badgers are brutal, messy, and never resolved peacefully. You quickly learn that negotiating isn't your strength, at least not verbally. Your negotiations usually start and end with biting, snarling, and violent charges. Polite conversations? Forget it. Your diplomatic style could best be described as bite first, ask questions, never. Your first territory fight is an eye-opener. You confidently stroll into what appears to be an ideal piece of savannah real estate, thinking, hey, this looks nice, only to be blindsided by another honey badger already living there. It's not a warning growl or a gentle nudge, it's an immediate and violent assault. After a blur of flying claws and sharp teeth, you find yourself limping away, bleeding and humiliated. Not exactly the welcome wagon you imagined. But honey badgers don't back down easily, so after licking your wounds, literally, you try again elsewhere. Eventually, through sheer stubbornness, you find a spot that's mostly perfect. Sure, you have to chase off a jackal that claimed it first, but that's minor compared to facing another honey badger. And just like that, after all the fighting and humiliation, you've got yourself a territory. Life's finally looking up. Sort of. But don't celebrate too quickly, because once you've established your territory, you now face a new problem: your reputation. Sure, your tough guy image has helped you survive, but it comes with exhausting baggage. You're now known as the relentless fighter who doesn't back down from anything, which means everyone expects you to fight. Always. There's no downtime or peaceful coexistence. The moment you slack off, some predator or cocky newcomer will decide you're weak and challenge your dominance. Ironically, your fierce reputation becomes your biggest burden. Predators might avoid you, but humans won't. Farmers despise you for your chicken-stealing antics. Beekeepers loathe you because your sweet tooth ruins their livelihoods. Hunters see you as the ultimate trophy, a symbol of toughness, and traditional healers want you because they mistakenly believe your legendary resilience is medicinal. Suddenly being tough isn't just exhausting, it's dangerous. The same audacity and fearlessness that earned you respect now put a target squarely on your back. Ironically, your greatest strength is precisely what's putting your life at risk. You're trapped in a vicious cycle of having to constantly prove your toughness, yet desperately wishing you didn't have to. As you enter your twilight years, around 7 or 8 years old, your legendary resilience starts showing cracks. Age reminds you daily that reckless abandon isn't sustainable. The fights that once left you exhilarated now leave you aching and exhausted. Every morning becomes a routine check for sore muscles, aching joints, and fresh scars. Your immune system, once invincible, takes longer to bounce back. Venomous bites and stings linger painfully, and your once rapid healing now drags on for days.